And think about this. If you had a fantastic marriage and were a great parent, you wouldn't be online. Think about that. You would not be online as much as you are. Am I right or am I wrong? Homesick for something that no longer exists. Yes, because it's built within us. Pat says, I'm 53. I cannot bring myself to date again in today's reality. Been single since the fall of 2017. Just enjoying the decline now. I hear you. You got to fight that, man. You got to fight that. Churches are more full than in 2019. Do I think that's true? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a matter of keeping it light and fun, not feeling all in because she checks off your boxes. You get committed too early and you don't experience the moment because your mind is in the future. Narcissist is a buzzword. Most people don't even know what it is. Exactly. It's actually a psychiatric term. It's not pop psych. Becoming a narcissist or that's now pop psych. That was something that you needed to be healed from, not something to be accused of. You hear me? Having a narcissistic personality disorder is now something that people accuse. Can you imagine somebody accusing somebody of schizophrenia or major depression? Narcissism is in the same league. It's a psychiatric disorder, but yet people are accusing one another of it. Captain Photon, you just told a lot of guys' stories. You just told the story of a lot of men. I don't think I'll ever love or trust a woman enough to have a child with them. Yeah, because we see what happens. I understand. Even at my age, I would still crank out a couple kids if I found a woman who could do it and was willing to do it. But how do you have kids? You got to have money. That's just the way it is. You got to have money. And if she doesn't like you, she leaves and she gets money. If she bails quick, that's why you all need to become pattern recognition experts. Date long, may slow, and if you're going to get divorced, divorce fast. Christopher Wiggins, how are you, sir? Excellent job. Excellent job, sir, at 26, getting your own place. This is just chit-chat tonight. All I did was ask a question. Calling someone a narcissist is blame shifting. It's not taking responsibility for yourself. If you have nothing good to say about your ex, you probably contributed to that. Now, it doesn't always take two. There's like the kind of people that say, well, it always takes two. No, it doesn't. Sometimes a person is an asshole. Sometimes a person just doesn't have the endurance for a relationship, and they leave. And they create a lot of destruction on the way out. Putin knows. Putin got divorced. Putin said, fuck that shit. He's done. I don't know if Putin enjoys the company of a woman, but I'm guessing he's disciplined enough not to risk everything. That's what I'm guessing. Whereas Trump falls into that trap. And I guess if you have the money, you can afford the trap. Most guys can't afford the trap. I have, as my coaching clients, I have guys that are millionaires, multi-millionaires, and I have 2 billionaires.
Good evening.
That's Mr. J. Novaks. How are you, sir?
Well, and yourself? I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Excellent. I've been
See
listening. I
your
missed out the last few things you said as I was trying to set up here.
I see you're rocking the bald head. It looks good, man.
I appreciate it. I don't have much of a choice, but you know what? It's only hair. I just grow it on my face.
Look, the shaved head and a beard, that's a good look on guys, you know?
I always tell people if you got a lot of muscle, you can pretty much do whatever. It doesn't matter, woman or shallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
The benefit ultimately goes to yourself, you know, spiritually, physically, mentally. But, you know, the secondary benefits, if you're going out somewhere and you get gazes, that helps the situation.
You're right. You are right. Now, how long have you been coming around this channel?
I've been watching you. What year did you start at? That's the first question. I can answer that.
2016.
Yeah, so I think it was about 2018-ish I started coming around, right on the tail of the, or on the initial starting of the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah.
I was actually looking up your beard serum, which works phenomenally well. You're nothing but knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I know a little bit about beards. Yeah.
I presume so. You're a master barber, no?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So what's your story, man? What is your story?
I was living full-time as a permanent resident in Mexico. About 16 months ago now, my wife left in the middle of the night while we were living there. And, you know, much like other people, I used to say, I didn't see it coming. But now that I take accountability for myself in all situations, I say I should have seen it coming. I ignored the signs. I ignored a lot of things. And came back up to Communist Canada, started up a protection company, bodyguarding company, and here I am. A lot of my mindset I have goes to you. I appreciate everything you do. A lot of people have no clue they're talking to a legend right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Gift from God. Thank you.
Tell us about your protection company.
So, Black and White Protection Group was founded with myself and my partner, who was born and raised in St. Lucia. We have about almost 40 years of combined experience with private security. We provide close protection, executive protection for people of high net worth, like high net worth individuals, celebrities, athletes. And in Canada now, crime is so bad at 43. It's not like what it was when I was, let's say, 23. But it's so bad with mass immigration now that a lot of residential areas need private security. So we fit the mold. We saw a niche to go into, and we have the experience for it. I mean, I'm 6'1", 250 pounds of muscle, so it makes sense for me.
Yes, yes.
And we were founded this year, early in January. We serve Ontario, Canada, but we've been a little bit over the world. We've been to Italy. I've done protection in Mexico as well. And just looking to get our way out of here. I'm the one always saying I can't wait to be annexed because the finances up here are insane. Cost of living's through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that.
It's
I've
what
heard that.
happens when people give up their their rights, God-given rights for security, not the good security. You know, you have insecurity in your life and you look to outsource it to the government, which is never a good situation.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, how did you get started in the protection industry? I remember I worked as a doorman, another
Okay.
fancy word for a bouncer,
Okay,
and
doorman's a good job. I used to do it.
I, for a strip club, and and I had great relationships with all the guys. I greeted everybody with a handshake, with respect,
Yes, sir.
and if I had to ask them, I never had to remove anyone
Mm,
because I developed a relationship with them. And once you develop a relationship with them, they don't challenge you.
of
That's what
course.
I have found.
Yes, you're 100% right. It's all about how you treat people. And going to something you said earlier was that I myself got started as a doorman or a bouncer. And then I moved into bodyguarding just because of the size of me. And I always tell people that respect is something you should give because it's demanded of us by the Creator to be kind and encourage one another.
Yes.
However, don't be so, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't be so irresponsible to yourself, so indignant to yourself that you expect it back. The only thing we can control is our actions and thoughts and what we say. What's the point of giving someone agency over you because you get emotional? They've manipulated you. They can use your emotions against you.
You know, one of the things I used to do, I would introduce like two or three guys would come in. I'd shake all their hands and say, "Hey guys, I'm Bruno. What's your name? What's your first name?" They would tell me their names, and I'd say, "Enjoy yourself tonight. If you need anything, just let me know. I'm here for you." And I became like their bro, like that.
That's the number one move. You identify with people. That there's such a lack of belonging I see, especially growing from my divorce, allowing myself to interact with people now because I didn't want to do that when I'm putting in the work. When you put in the work, things come to you. Everything here is nothing is of coincidence, I should just say. It's all ordained already. So you might as well enjoy the highs and the lows because you
Yes.
can learn from it. Everything's a lesson. As far as drunk people go, my favorite move is to say, hey, brother, you know me. Point up to a few cameras on the wall and go, look, you're going to end up getting hurt here. And we're laughing and they know it. Or you can go home and find a girl and enjoy the night with, a nice lady. Or you can go sit in a jail cell and I'm going to get paid and I don't want to hurt you. And they'd say, hey, you know what? You were right. And the next day they come up, hey, I'm sorry, Jay. You're always so kind. It's the problem with alcohol, man. People lose their inhibition.
Yeah, they do. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You know, it's funny. I don't think I've ever known a strip club or a gentleman's club that doesn't serve alcohol. And and
I
I
think
don't
you just broke philosophy circles there.
what let me ask you this. Could
Sure.
could a gentleman's club survive just serving coffee and root beer?
Is there weed involved in the drinks? THC? Because I would opt to no. There's no way. You look at woman's nature. It's
Yeah,
very tough. Any woman that is healed is taken because they're healed.
yeah.
You know, you have to heal and be so concerned with self improvement and growth and your relationship to God that you have zero time to criticize others. You can observe, but don't absorb, you know?
You nailed it. You
Hmm.
nailed it. Yeah. What's your workout?
Well, today, for example, I had biceps. If I would go into it quickly, I did 3 exercises. Spider curls, if people know them, very good for you, close gripped with a straight bar. I curl 100 pounds about 20, 22 times if I'm not fatigued with a bar. And then just some regular concentration curls and chest work, a bunch of push ups and cable chest. I love
Beautiful.
cable. You can work out your whole body.
You know, it's funny. I just started doing cables about 6 months ago. I had no idea how to do it, and I saw a guy on doing cable chest work, and
Mm,
I said, I've never done that before. Can you show me? He was so willing and so friendly.
for
Helped me with my
sure.
form, and anyone who has done the work is not afraid to share those things. And the guy was like,
Hmm.
and every time I see him at the gym, he'll say, "Hey, how those cable flies doing?" And I'm like, "Pretty good, thank you." You know, and like it all started with him because he showed me the right form, and uh, you know, I had no idea how to do them, and
Mm,
it was like uh, it was like a bridge was built.
hmm.
You know, I can see the
For
guy.
sure.
I can see the guy. 20 yards away on the other side of the gym. He'll look at me and give me a nod, and I give him a thumbs up.
Hmm.
A young dude, and I find that even as I get older too, I think a lot of the younger bodybuilders are so willing to actually kind of help out like an older guy, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And they seem to be more concerned, and they're you know they want to make sure I don't get hurt, that kind of thing.
For sure. Well, and you know what? I was watching you the other day. I was the one who asked for you to leave the stream up a bit later. Thank you
Yeah,
very much. You're
yeah,
pretty jacked. You're doing good for your age. I have to say, you give yourself the credit. You did good, and people don't understand the gym is a fellowship. Before I even work out and I'm working on mobility work for a good 20 minutes, half an hour, there must be about at least a dozen people that come up and shake my hand. Hey, what are you up to today? Because everybody's looking to either get up to the highest frequency, God's frequency, or everybody's trying to find out how to stay there. And
yeah,
energy attracts energy. So that guy sees you across the room trying to put in work. And tell me, what athlete will ever mock an obese person trying to get healthier? What businessman, a millionaire, will ever laugh at someone's business idea? It just doesn't happen. Like you said, you put in the work, and now you have a fellowship there, and you watch, it'll grow. The more you go, the more it grows. The gym's a wonderful place, but people fear change.
yeah, yeah. One of the things that I have discovered is that people are more than willing to spot you. Like, hey, bro, can you spot me on this exercise? And come right over and do it, no problem.
Yeah.
Complete stranger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. It's everybody's working towards a common betterment to better yourself. So it's an understood, it's redundant to even say it at that point. Everybody, hey man, you get in here and you do your work. You have any problems? Let me know. Because I would be a fool if I sat here and told you I knew everything. A fool will only tell you that I can learn from someone younger than me. I can learn from someone older than me. It's the way it goes. And I have
Yeah,
trial and
every
error.
man is a teacher and every man is a student. That's how I like to say it.
Let me ask you something, George. That's well
Yes.
thought. I always tell people, because a lot of people after you, Rich Cooper, immediately after my divorce, started Andrew Tate. I was shaping my mindset, getting away from the trauma that just occurred,
Yes.
distancing myself. So I thought, okay, what do I have already? I know my body's physically fit. My spirit is strong. My soul, I have a strong relationship with God. But the problem was now is mentally, I wasn't broken, but I allowed myself to stay in it. And that was the
Yes.
trick. That was the trick. But um, how do you find for yourself, for example, do you have people, because I've helped a few people just for free on that reached out to me on X, same thing, Jay Novak, just posting, things I've learned from you, other people that help me. Hopefully I can pass the buck on. And a lot
Yes.
of people privately DM me for help, a lot of men. And I try and help them, but it just seems they're destined to make the same mistake and stay in that moment, and they don't understand the power of mindfulness. You have to be in the present. It's a gift for a reason. What's in the past? The past is depression, regret, anger, a bunch of terrible things. Future's anxiety. Why would you live there? Just live in the present. We only have one
Right.
day.
You're right. It's interesting. As I'm approaching the sunset of my life, you
Mm-hmm.
are in the sunrise of your life. Guys
Mm,
like me and Cooper, we pass it on to guys like you.
well,
And you are the next generation of men sharing notes with other men.
mm. It's funny you should say that because I got approached. I speak Spanish now since I lived in Mexico for a couple years, and there's a few Colombians that go to my gym and they're lonely. They can't speak English, so I communicate with them. And to their surprise, I can speak and understand, no problem. But do you find that when you're this was something that I just thought about when you how do I put this? Let me rephrase this. When people ask me, say it's always at the gym or when someone's sad because I say hi to babies, I talk to people, we're sharing the planet. But when I'm saying something to someone else, I hope it helps them, but at the same time, it reinforces what I'm saying in my head because it's constant repetition, like it is doing sets at the gym, repetition. You really have to hammer it into your head and forge that mindset because then all of a sudden, everybody who types, I'm sad, this, that, happiness is a choice. And seeing people like you, I gotta think that when your time is called, you did God's work and you're good. That's gotta be the purpose of this life, no?
I think so. I think so. It's funny. We started out this conversation with one fella said, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice." And suffering is basically the story of the past and how
100%.
we lost. And we keep telling ourselves that story and reliving the past over and over. And that's why we need to create new stories for ourselves.
I agree wholeheartedly. Suffering is a choice. If you could choose happiness, why would you choose anything else? It doesn't make sense. There's lessons or life sentences, and you're the one. Every morning I tell myself, people might laugh and say, at 43, but it works. Keep it simple, Keep it simple, stupid. Am I going to wake up and be my best friend or my worst enemy? Am I going to get out of my way or get in my way? What am I doing today? Because essentially we're battling ourselves. That's what it is every single day. You can sit here and say someone hurt you. Okay, so what? Good. How are you going to know what success is without failure? One is an absent of the other.
You're right about that. And becoming the best version of yourself
Mm-hmm.
is not only just losing weight and muscling up, but it's also optimizing your thoughts, your thought
100%.
patterns.
100%. That's the muscle of the mind. People always talk about mind muscle connection, but they forget it travels the other way up too. Your mind is your spirit. And when your mind is speaking to you, it will look to reinforce what you feed it. So if you feed it nothing but positivity and no victim language, just never, I'll try. How about I can? If I fail, so what? I'll learn how to do it. I'll get the hang of it. If you speak to yourself that way, it's always going to be constant reinforcement. I always tell people, I grew up without parents. I left my home at 10. My father was murdered when I was 6, and I've died twice. I shouldn't even
Wow.
be here. Only through the grace of God I'm here.
Yeah.
And and I keep thinking to myself, why do I get into certain patterns? I used to say to myself, why is this happening to me? But at some point you have to say, you only get one life. You treat it like a business. You have the right to fire and hire who performs for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's interesting how at any given moment when you meet someone new, you
Hmm.
realize you have to make a decision. Am I going to be a student of this person or a teacher of this person? And you make that decision right away.
This is why I always tell people, if you want to argue with me, I'm not interested in argument. Argument is emotional, it's irrational, it achieves nothing. But if you want to discuss something, I could always learn something new. I'm always open to learn. It just makes the whole aether better when someone's doing well. You have two types of people, I find. People who are lost and they sit there and they resent other people's success, or the other person that goes, hey, how do I do what you did? I'm trying to be better. And that's the time you have time for. You have time for those people. Because if you're trying to do everything good on your own, you pray hard, it's grace. Look, take Hulk Hogan's death, for example. A lot of people had bad things to say about the man of something that he said. during a private conversation. I don't know the man. I don't have an opinion other than, you know what? He was the reason why I got into becoming strong and working out with heavy weights, bodybuilding, training myself, training my mind. Because as a little kid, growing up super abused, I said to myself, I need someone in my life. And I just saw something the other day on Instagram. It was a picture of a little boy morphing into a huge muscular man. And the video said, you are now the man that was going to defend you when you were little and you needed it. So now it's upon you to help the weak. And that always sticks with me because there's times where I'm weak, but you know what? I lean on things. I lean on my faith. I lean on my physicality. You know, if I only have one person to talk to, I'm grateful I have that one person. Some people have nobody.
Yeah, you're right.
But if you have nobody, then it's on you. You got to go out and just say hi to people. Who cares about rejection?
Yeah. You had mentioned Rich Cooper and Tate. Both are friends of mine. I served in the war room for 5 years. I was an advisor in the war room. Rich Cooper and I have been friends since 2017. And, you know, like-minded men lift each other up. They don't put each other down.
Yes.
And they, like, for instance, there are certain people that I meet that I know that I'm not going to have an effect on them. So I will refer them over to Rich, or I'll refer them to Tate. And I challenge people, like I challenge their critics. Show me one thing that they said that you can criticize. Show me one thing. Show me one thing that they said that's not true.
Yeah,
They're truth tellers.
I agree. Well, what does that tell you? That a large portion of the world, pardon me, is offended by the truth. What does that tell you? That speaks a lot about the world. And I understand as I grow older why you were told, you know, don't love the world, then you don't know what it is to love me, your father. It's
right.
You should be so concerned with yourself. You never have time to criticize anybody else. You should only, there's two types of people who watch someone trip and fall and laugh, or someone like me who says, hey, you need a hand? Because God knows I could trip and fall too. I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lack of grace, and the world's designed to be this way now. And if you're going to hate a lie, then eternally someone should do the work and say to themselves, why do I hate the truth? Why do I navigate towards a lie? But they can't do that, because if they do, they're going to have to face growing pains. It's painful to grow. That's why a lot of people avoid it.
Yeah. Give me an example of like how you helped someone out. What person stands out in your mind who was maybe doubting themselves, felt weak, felt incompetent, and maybe you built them up? Give us an example of a situation like that.
Oh, I'm frozen here. I don't know what's going on. If you can hear me, your screen's frozen.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So pardon me. Can you say that again, please?
Yeah. Give us an example of someone who you have helped, like what they overcame as a result of you talking to them or encouraging them or helping them out. Give us an example of how you do that. What is your personal way of helping someone out who needs help?
Well, to answer it this way, I always ask people, my uncle was very wise before he died. And he used to always tell people, do you want to have a time to vent, or do you want a solution? So that's first and foremost, because most people just want to vent. And then it's up to me to make the decision. How much do I value you to absorb your negativity? And 9 times out of 10, I don't value you enough to do that. So, I mean, I talk to a lot of men, young men, 43 young men that are in my gym in their early 20s, mid 20s, going through rejection. I help them out with that. My good friend's mother down in the Caribbean was passing away, so she's still with us, thank God, but she's in her 80s. And I gave him a flight and a hotel to get down there just because I had the money on me at the time. I believe strongly in that. If you want to help someone, you should. as long as it doesn't leave you in a bind. You know, you can't, like in first aid, you can't help someone if you're going to burn.
That's
But
true.
and you can take that metaphorically as well. But a lot of the times I don't really say much about helping people because a lot of it to do with me is mindset. And I notice people right off the bat. I'm gauging their behavior with their energy. I don't look at what people say anymore because most people are lost. I just saw a study that said last night that said, forget what government agency it was, but they found out that they've determined, I mean, and this is the government as well telling you, but 50% of the population is soulless. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
Well, in my generation in Canada, they sold these toys called Cabbage Patch dolls for little girls and I guess little boys. It wasn't that common for boys to play with dolls back then, but it was an experiment that was actually conducted of test tube children, and they were called Cabbage Patch dolls. And that would have grown up to be into this generation now. So yeah, I mean, the one thing I always think about if I want to help someone, another thing I always say too is, are you ready to stop bleeding? Because people will always bleed on the person they didn't cut. Because a lot of the times people haven't got their emotions in check. That's always the first thing. You gotta be a master of your emotions. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'll be manipulated every time.
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
people 10 seconds of anger and fury turn into a life sentence?
True.
Yeah.
Some people, it seems like, have less buttons to push, and
Yeah.
other people remain unemotional, a little bit stoic, more in control. Because if you can get somebody to lose their shit, then you have control over them.
Yes. 100%.
And vice versa. If they get you to react emotionally, then they won.
100. Well, why do people don't realize that it's not macho or manly to just walk away? I always tell people that's nonsense. Look at the size of me. And the military has tactical retreat. I want to live another day. Is this a life and death situation? No. Hey, buddy, have a good day. I love you. A lot of the times, that's one good thing to diffuse with people. A lot of times you say, you know what? I love you. God knows that, man. I hope you get better, man. A lot of times people get stopped in their tracks and they go, oh, wow. Because you know what? I've been there. Many people are lost, and you saw it during COVID. COVID was a tough time because a lot of people chose to do what the media and the government pushed onto them. And now they have to live with it, and that's their coping mechanism. Because if they don't, they'll have to come to the conclusion that there was consequences for their choices. Free to choose, never free from consequence.
Right.
And
Right.
a lot of people, and the nuance lost there is that, okay, I myself didn't take that. I'm not doing that. But if you want to do that, go ahead. I just pray for your health.
Yeah.
If you're asking me my opinion, I'll tell you I would wait. I don't think it's a good idea. And then how soon was it? 3-4 months. Everything started to come out about, who makes it, who's invested into it, who's not taking it. You could see the videos. And, you know, it's a situation where I always say being right and wrong is a matter of perspective, but I hate to be right when it comes at the cost of someone else's loss. It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
You become vindictive and then you become bitter. You learn to grow into what you hate, and you shouldn't hate anything. It's a waste of life.
Yeah. And then what happens is you end up becoming them. You end
You
up,
do.
when you stare into the abyss, you become the abyss.
I want you to do something for me if you don't mind, sir. Take your one finger and point it while you're making a fist with the other hand, or same hand, like I am. You notice how you have one finger pointing at us?
Yes.
How many fingers do you have pointing back at you?
There's 3 pointing back at me.
Exactly. So before you're quick to condemn someone else, remember to look at your own self. I always remind myself everything I do is so simple, but it works. It just resonates with me. There's a lot more people who are just not ready. They're not ready. And the only way, it was in the book of Proverbs, it says, out of great pain will come great change. But you have to have the mindset to run with it. And that's why it's getting harder in this world, because there's a battle for everybody's souls. And when you have a battle going on for you, not to make this proselytizing, pardon me, but if there's a battle for you, you have to be an active participant in that battle. No one's coming here to save you. We're not born with any wealth. I don't know anybody that was born a millionaire.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, it's funny how we take things so personal. And if we just kind of learn how to give ourselves, we don't waste ourselves on people who are going to waste our intellect and waste
Yes.
our wisdom.
Yes. I agree with you. I think for my life, I predicate things on I treat you and go as far for you as you will for me. And there's going to be times in that relationship where, for example, my business partner, I've known when we were doormen, and that was going back almost 20 years ago. And, you know, I don't mind doing things for him because I know he reciprocates. But there's nothing worse than showing grace to someone and then them not extending it to you. And that's the price of healing. Is it people often wonder, why am I so lonely? I've asked myself that. Am I lonely? No, I'm not lonely. I just need to come to the conclusion that I don't fit in with the crowd. And that's fine because I'm busy creating for my group of people. And the more I create, the more they can create, and everybody grows up together. It's like a tree. You have to plant good seeds. And I don't know about in the States. Speaking of seeds, I just bought a seeded watermelon. This is the second one in 2 weeks I've got. They do not sell anything up here in the greater Toronto area that's seeded anymore. And if a fruit and a vegetable grow from a seed, what are you eating that's seedless? I always tell people this at the supermarket. They just go, oh, I'll take it anyway. It's cheap. They're digging it. They're paying to dig their own grave. They don't even realize it.
Right. Right.
It's very perverse.
How did you bounce back from your adversity?
A lot of listening to you. People don't realize when I'm driving, I'm not trying to listen to much music. But if I do listen to anything, it's always going to be your videos. I go back and circle Rich's videos. I just have to circle less now because I don't need the reinforcement as much anymore. But it took a good year, 12 months for me to constantly get it through my head. Hey, buddy, no one's coming here to save you, young man. Life was hard. Was is the operative word here. It's up to you to do something here. What are you going to do? I have contingency plans. I could go move back to Mexico. I have money in the pocket. I'm trying to work my way to America now. That's why I'm back up here. You know, it's you just have to move forward. What other option do you have? Sit and be sad, lose your body shape, your heart. How many people probably die of heartache? That's something I'd be interested of knowing. I bet you there's hundreds of thousands of people. The world's pretty cruel sometimes, but it's your mindset. You can see it as darkness or you can watch the sunrise. It's up to you.
You know, it's interesting when you look at elderly couples, when one person passes away, it's amazing how the other person will die within 3 to 6 months.
I've already said that. Yeah, I was just talking about this the other day. It's just the connection they have created such a loneliness, and God said, you served your time here. You're good to go now. You know, you've completed the mission. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which also shows you that the will to live can keep you alive.
Oh, you have to. A warrior's mindset. You have to live. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. 100%. I'm not doing anything daddy government tells me. I work for myself. I would rather spend 3 years trying to build this company and leaving something behind, God willing, if I have children or someone, you know, my godkids or something, than spend 40 years working for someone else and making them rich. I'd rather take the risk. There's no better reward without the risk. Everything is just risk mitigation in life. What is this going to do? How much is this going to hurt me or set me back? Or the opposite, how much is this going to propel me forward and doing what my mission is? If you move in life, if you move in the gym, if you move in your relationship without purpose and you're just a creature of comfort, you're going to not achieve anything because you lack purpose. You have to be that purpose in your mind.
And you remember the first time you heard no one is coming to save you? Like, we
Yes.
didn't really understand that at first, but now it's powerful, isn't it?
You know what? There's every day I hear something and I smile because I got it now. But I remember the first time I heard you or Rich or Tate or Steve Harvey say something, I would sit there and say, wow. So if this is resonating to me, I know that's the creator telling me, look, this is something you need to hear. Because if you're going to be deemed to learn a lesson, you're going to learn it regardless if you like it or not. So you better learn to like it. Like a starving kid, eat your food. You don't know if you're
you
eating.
you are right.
Yeah.
You are right. You're going to learn. You're going to learn something whether you want to or not.
Yeah, yeah. It never fails. It's funny watching people. One thing I try and tell people is you have to kill your ego before it kills you. Kill the
Yes.
old version of you before it kills you.
Yes.
People
How
say
has training, getting in the gym when you don't want to be there, getting up early, or going to the gym when you don't want to go, or you're not really into it, or you're not feeling it. How does training help you personally?
So there was a time in my life when I had just got married, early 2017. My body was failing me due to flat feet deformity. I had what was called a flat foot disability. My hips were all tilted. I got functional scoliosis from it. I couldn't get the surgery up here, so I went down to Oklahoma City to get my foot reconstructions. God bless America for that. They treat you well. Um, but regarding training, it clears the mind. You're so present, and there's a healthiness to having longevity is muscle. If you want to spend the most time here, you got to be as fit as possible or as
Yeah.
lean as possible. Muscle is different depending on how different people, some people want to be big, some small. As long as you're healthy, you're good. But it becomes part of the mindset. It's a trinity. It's the body, the what is the Holy Trinity that they always talk about? The mind, the body, and the Holy Spirit.
Mind, body, and spirit. Yeah.
What kind of person doesn't train? And I would say to them, your spirit is weak, and the only way to strengthen it is by training. It's the same thing with your mind. It's the same thing with everything. Every time you read a book, every time you engage in a conversation, you just have to train. I don't have times where I don't want to be there. I always enjoy the gym. It's a gift from God. I thank him for it daily. I do have problems with saying now where I'm trying to get rid of, a good 8 years of muscular imbalances, get rid of the scoliosis, fix my pelvic alignment. I get more tired than I would be accustomed to. But the only thing I can say to myself is, hey, you remember when you had zero mobility? I couldn't walk from here to my kitchen. You got given a gift. You paid, $20,000 a foot to do this. Make it worth the money, So
Yeah.
I don't see things as motivation. I find motivation can lead you to making an excuse. You just do it because you have to.
Discipline is more powerful than motivation.
It's like a drug. It really is. It's like that's why I tell people about the gym. If you're thinking about working out on this channel, the gym is free drugs. You just get endorphin rush after endorphin rush. It alters your chemical property, which allows you to even on a cellular level start healing. Then you go put in weights with that, eat well, sleep well. All of a sudden you're not so sad because this is all the pattern. It's no secret. I didn't learn this and go, hey, I just made fire. I learned this from the next guy and the next guy, and that's what I was telling you about. It's your duty for the strong to encourage the weak, because God knows there's times where I've been weak and I needed it.
It's funny. The times where I go out and do a walk,
Mm-hmm.
go out and do a 2, 3, 4, 5 mile walk, and I have to drag myself out of bed to do it. But when I get back from the walk, I've never said, man, I should not have gone for that walk. What
Yep.
always is going through my mind is, I'm glad I did it. Same thing with going to the gym. Even if it feels like it's going to be a chore,
Mm-hmm.
at the end of a workout, I've never said, man, I wish I didn't come to the gym. I always say to myself, I'm glad I did come to the gym.
And what would you be saying if you didn't go to the gym? You'd be living with regret. So
Yes.
you just put a deposit into your health bank. The more deposits you have, the richer you'll be as long as you keep the withdrawals in check. With the
Yeah.
withdrawals meaning, laziness, drinking excessively, slothness, things like that. Poor eating, poor sleeping, drugs maybe. You do those things and it's like driving a car with bald tires on them. You're bound to crash.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your goals for the future? What are your hopes and dreams for your business?
Definitely we do have my partners work for a lot of American actors before, so we're reaching out now. We only just opened up about a month ago. If you don't mind, would I be able to give a little shout out for my company name just so?
Please do so.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So if you go online, BW, B as in Bravo, W as in Whiskey, bwprotection.com, Black and White Protection Group Incorporated. If you ever
Beautiful.
need security, you ever need consulting, all my contact is on my website. Just, hit me up. I can help you out. If you also want to talk about things in mindset and stuff, you're learning from the master. People really have no idea the debt I have to repay to you. And the only way I know how is to pay it forward because you completely did this for me. And when you did
Beautiful.
that, I didn't get the luxury of having a dad. My dad was murdered at 6. And so I don't remember him at all. And now I try and sit there and I say, well, look at the blessings I get. Someone that comes into my life that was already there watching your videos, but especially when I had my beard longer, looking at your tutorials. And then I go through this divorce very bitter, and then boom, as soon as I get back to Canada, I went, why am I not listening to things I know where I can find solace and level myself up and restore what's been depleted? Started watching more of your channel again, started watching stuff that I didn't watch when I was in Mexico. And the turnaround, you have to internalize it because no one's really coming to save you. That's never more evident. If you believe the government is there to help you, those are the worst words someone ever can say. I'm the government and I'm here to help you. I wouldn't trust any of those people. They do nothing but harm you while taking your money, which they don't need, and living wealthy while other people struggle. That's as
Yeah.
demonic as it gets. Don't trust the TV. I don't even watch TV. I watch shows like yours. It's a waste. The inventor of television was asked in an interview, what do you let your children watch? And he said, nothing. It's all programming.
Yeah.
I was younger. They used to say that every night. Welcome to your nightly programming. You notice they don't say that anymore? You remember
That's
that?
right. You're right.
Nobody ever thought about it. Being programmed, tell a vision. They are telling you a vision. That's why you see so much subversion in all these shows now, because they're trying to invert the world so that evil becomes more prominent than good. And they've already bent the will of so many people. And we can only pray that half of those people said never again. So then the numbers are restored, because a right you don't fight for today is a right that your grandkids ain't going to see, man. And that's selfish if you ask me.
That is true.
Hmm.
Here's a good question for you. When you went through your difficulty with the breakup and divorce and all this kind of stuff,
That was tough.
how are you different now as a result of that, and what will you be doing different moving forward?
So how I'm different now is I've definitely learned patience. That was my moment to learn patience. I've learned to not be quick to say anything because that comes from emotion. You need to give yourself some time to gather your thoughts. If you're not ready to, or you don't have your thoughts gathered, I prefer to walk around a bit outside, get my thoughts, and then return to the conversation. I always say, I'll never regret something I didn't say. Unfortunately, during the divorce, there was nothing I could have done. And when you said save the man, not the marriage, ding, the light
Yeah.
went up. I just said,
Yeah.
thank you, God. This man is intelligent. This man is doing this for us. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because if you don't save yourself, I remember hearing you say, you and Rich said it. That marriage was over 6 months ago. She just didn't tell you yet.
Yeah.
My ex-wife on the phone when we returned to Canada, and I could tell she totally changed. 100%. I just downtrodden, depressed. And she had said to me, I thought about doing this a year ago before we returned. And I thought, well, you could have saved us a lot of money and effort. But I just said, okay, well, you know what? George was right. Like, the reason why we cry now and feel that loss is because we're going through it in the present moment. They went through it a year ago, and that's what my ex-wife said. And when she said that, it was the easiest thing for me to say, hey, I love you, but you treated me with disloyalty and disrespect. I made a vow to God. Obviously, you didn't. So if whatever you're comfortable with, you can do that and live your life from a distance. You have
Yes.
to distance yourself from it. Why are you going to sit there and try and save something? I was the one who said to you earlier, never go back. And I know it's easier said than done, but you can't go back. It's indignant to yourself. The
Yes.
present you should be the hero of the old you. And if not, what are you doing now to take those steps to be the hero of your story?
Yeah, that's true. Now, do you hope to be married and have children in the future, or is that something that you're not considering anymore?
Well, I considered it. God knows I want children. Part of the big reason for my divorce was fertility issues. My ex-wife had taken, I guess, birth control pills for, as most girls prescribed when they're on their period as a young teen. They get into their mid 30s and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I wonder why I can't get pregnant. I myself, on the other hand, have the testosterone levels and sperm counts, pardon me, folks, of a 23-year-old man. So I'm good. I've been tested. But you know what? Whoever was in her ear, because I mean, you're not just divorcing the girl, you're divorcing the mom too.
Yes.
uh, that's always in their ear. And the friends who are miserable because they're divorced and they don't want you to find someone that you can love and spend life with and enjoy others' company. They want you to be like them, which is gross, very gross. You shouldn't
Yes.
want the worst for someone. Why? It's a waste of your time. But as far as the divorce went, I just really put in the work and secluded myself. That was a big thing. I could care less. Woman come up to me and I just say, hey, you know what? I appreciate you coming up to me, but I'm not in the right mindset right now. And they'll leave you alone. You really have to get yourself healthy up in your mind if you're going to do anything. It sounds textbook or cliche, maybe. Like perhaps you thought I might have a more articulate or different response, but really it's always keep it simple, stupid. This person left you. Why are you going to chase after someone who doesn't want to be with you anymore, who deems that you're not a part of their life anymore? Hey, adios.
Yeah. I've always said we don't miss the software, we miss the hardware, we miss the
Yeah.
vision of the woman. We don't miss the operating system.
Well, let me ask you something. How many times do you think you remember something, but what would you propose how accurate it is you remember it? Because I highly doubt that we even remember situations 100% anymore. We
Yeah.
probably think of something depending on how much accountability you want to take for yourself. Uh, you might just keep telling yourself lies. And once you lie, it's the lesson kids should be learning at a young age. If you lie, there's consequences.
Absolutely.
You can't lie. If you're going to be deceptive to me, here's a good thing to say. So dealing with a divorce has taught me I decided to connect with a woman I knew from a decade ago, working at a bar together. We became roommates when I moved up here. It's almost been a year this October. She had been emotionally abusive to me, and I recognized it because I went through it already at my divorce, or separation, I should have said, which is now divorce. But you notice when someone has a problem with your reaction of barriers as opposed to their action that garnered those barriers to be put up. And you talked about narcissism earlier briefly. I do agree with you that it's a term not a lot of people use properly, and they throw it around lightly, but it's definitely a sign, textbook sign of a woman who does that. That's manipulative. That's narcissistic behavior. If you don't
Yes.
want to grow and you want to lie to yourself, and then you want to, it's controlling, it's manipulative. Why would you even, so for myself, I just said, hey, you know what? There's a time where this has to stop. And I said to her, look, I know what I want in my life. And if you feel we're not compatible, just stop lying to me. This is a lie. And once she did that, we said, okay, we got a couple months left. I'll go my own way and just be on my own. I don't need to be with people to feel validated. I'm good on my own. But I
Yeah.
want to be in this relationship. And what I told her was, it is my duty, because most people say, take care of me and I'll take care of you. No, I'll take care of myself. I'll heal myself, because I'm not bringing baggage from somewhere else into this trip. I'm only keeping the trip of us. But they bring their baggage in and they don't do the work inward to grow. And then it just fails. So what are you going to do? You know, hey, I wish you well, but again, you got to do it somewhere else. I'm not
Yeah.
your mom or dad.
You know, I've said for many, many years, if a phone call or an email can ruin your life, you
Mm-hmm.
have some thinking to do. You got to like
Oh, yeah.
restructure your life.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
100%.
if somebody can call you and just with one phone call just turn your world upside down, your world was not that stable to begin with. If a
Yeah.
woman can email you and say, it's not you, it's me, this relationship is over, I wish you the best, if that can set you off and put you in a dark place, your life was not that stable to begin with.
I agree.
So we must be stable and not
Yeah.
allow something as simple as a phone call or an email or a text wreck
100%.
our day or week or life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the only way to be as stoic as possible. You're allowed to have emotion, but it's what you do with it.
Yeah. As
That's
I
like,
like to say, don't deny your emotions, just delay them.
that's wise. Then see, what did I say earlier about that? If I don't have the right mindset to engage in this discussion, I'm going to walk away because I don't want to say something I'll regret. I need to control myself first, and then, hey, anybody sits there and says they're show, I like to see someone who says I'm always conditioned to control myself. I don't know about that, because there's times I still catch myself.
Yeah.
Like now, you ever notice when people give you the bird while you're driving, they take it personally that you need to merge into the lane that happens to be in front of them.
Yeah.
I laugh when people do that. And when I was living in Mexico, the traffic is crazy, but it's organized. Up here, the traffic is hectic and it's dangerous, it's reckless, and there is so much road rage here in the greater Toronto area. And I grew up here. I never seen this in my life. It's wild what mass immigration is doing to people, because I'll relate a country or a corporation the same as yourself, the individual. If you, how do I put this? If you don't predicate your life on a creator, or as I say, God, growth, goals, grace, and gratitude, I don't know how you're making it through right now, because everything here is designed to deplete you. That's why, like, how many people do you, if you peruse the comments, do you see who are still living in a state of fear, a state of emotion, of sorrow, regret, pain? You must see that all the time. And when I look around and see it now, and that's what's giving me more grace and understanding. And that's why I want to ask people, if you want help, you can talk to me. Because if you're lost, you just have no direction. But a lot of people say, oh, they're lazy. They're not lazy. If you're lost, you have no idea where you are. You just need someone to go, hey, right over there, man. Just trust me. Go right over there. And this is what you're going to do. You get that little push on a swing, and then you learn to kick your legs up so you can manipulate the swing. You get that little push in the right direction. It doesn't matter how big your steps are. It matters if they're in the right direction.
Well, that's a great, great word. to end it on. Jay, I'll give you the last word as we wrap this up. We have a number of people watching now, and a lot of people will watch this in the future as I will keep this particular video up. What do you have to say to the audience tonight and for the people that will tune into this video in the future?
Oh, this is perfect. Every day I say this to myself. I don't need to as much anymore, but listen to me, folks. In order to learn to be kind and love someone else, you must be kind to yourself and love yourself. Any trauma that you can't distance from is self-sabotage and hatred towards yourself. You have to let it go. That is evil manipulating your thoughts. If you can change your thoughts and the process how you work in life, you can grow. And that's the only way to do it. No one is really coming to save you. I believe you can do it because I've done it. George has done it. We're all living proof that we're doing it. If there's a storm and you don't have an umbrella, just walk through it. Who cares?
That's great.
It's on the other side. I appreciate the opportunity. You're a very wise man. I can't thank you enough for what you did. Hopefully, I help some people out as much as you do. That would be the aim of life for me.
Well, your words really were life-giving to a lot of people and very encouraging. Will you come on and be a guest again?
You know what? Whenever I'm on, I would love to be a guest. I'm beckoning at your call, we'll say.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Jay, thank you so much. Jay's company is bwprotection.com.
Yes, sir.
You have a builder's mindset, and we appreciate that. And we'll talk to you again soon, Jay. Thank you so much.
God bless everybody. Have a good evening.
Well, there you go. There's Jay up in the greater Toronto area. His company is bwprotection.com. I hope you appreciated that. That was a real blessing. I can tell he's a man of faith, and he's been through it. He's been through it, and he came out the other side a better man as a result of it. So, and that's all because of the choices that he made. He's been through some tough stuff, but he's not claiming to be a victim. He's not claiming to be a victim. And because of his mindset, he is a victor, not a victim. And that's what we want for you. We want you to be victors in life. You need to be victorious in your life as you go through hard times, as you go through a breakup, as you go through divorce, if somebody passes away. So I look forward to Jay showing up again. That was pure serendipity to have him in the chat and to come live. And it was fantastic. So thank you, Jay. And thank you, everybody. I'm going to be signing off now. Hope everyone's doing well. I'll see you again tomorrow night at about 7 o'clock Eastern time. Good night.